Welcome to the 2-Minute Disciple Podcast with your host, Nick Euler, where we slow down with Jesus one passage at a time. Hey everybody, welcome to the podcast. I'm Nick and it's an honor to be here with you today. Today is July 1st. Each day we follow a simple rhythm. Slow down, read, notice, reread, meditate, respond, and exercise. Let's begin. We carry so much around every day: financial worries, relational stress, anxiety about the future, and the pressure to succeed. Now is the time to set those things down for a few minutes and enjoy some time with Jesus. Close your eyes, take a deep breath in, then slowly release it. As you inhale, whisper, "Jesus, you died in my place." As you exhale, pray, "Jesus, you reign as Lord of all." Do this 3 times, then rest in His presence. I'm reading from Mark chapter 9, verses 30 through 32. Leaving that region, they traveled through Galilee. Jesus didn't want anyone to know that He was there, for He wanted to spend more time with His disciples and teach them. He said to them, "The Son of Man is going to be betrayed into the hands of His enemies. He will be killed, but 3 days later, He will rise from the dead." They didn't understand what He was saying. However, they were afraid to ask Him what He meant. What strikes you in this passage? Is there a word or phrase that catches your attention? Hold it before the Lord for a moment. Hear this passage again and notice the emotions that Jesus' words provoke in His disciples. Leaving that region, they traveled through Galilee. Jesus didn't want anyone to know where He was, for He wanted to spend more time with His disciples and teach them. He said to them, "The Son of Man is going to be betrayed into the hands of His enemies. He will be killed, but 3 days later, He will rise from the dead." They didn't understand what He was saying. However, they were afraid to ask Him what He meant. Perspective matters. When I hear the words, "And when He is killed, after 3 days He will rise," my first thought is of the cross and of the empty tomb. The emotions I feel are sadness for the suffering and joy at the resurrection. My perspective is from after all of this has taken place. But the disciples in the passage, they were standing before it happens. And it brings up totally different emotions. Confusion and fear stir in their hearts because they can't see the cross and the empty tomb yet. The words don't connect with them. They don't understand, and they're afraid to even ask for clarification. Perspective matters. Our circumstances can overwhelm us and cause fear and anxiety to flood our minds and hearts. We need to shift our perspective and see those circumstances from the vantage point of the reigning Christ, the one who has already conquered death and who has already risen and who already reigns over all things. When we see our struggles through that lens, joy and peace can take the place of fear and anxiety. The disciples didn't have that perspective yet, but we do. We live on the resurrection side of the cross. We know how the story ends, and that changes everything. Take a few moments to reflect on this question. What circumstances in my life do I need to see through the lens of Christ's resurrection and reign? Jesus, you reign over my circumstances. Help me see my struggles from your perspective. Flood my heart with the joy and peace that come from knowing that you have already won. The rush of life will meet you again when you leave this sacred place, but you can carry this moment into your day by forming new habits. Today's habit? Perspective shift. Today's habit is to practice seeing your circumstances through the lens of Christ's resurrection. Choose one worry or fear that's been weighing you down. Something that feels heavy, confusing, or overwhelming. Now, pause and ask yourself, what would this look like if I truly believe that Jesus has already conquered this? That he reigns over this situation right now. Write down 3 ways that the resurrection of Jesus changes how you should think about this circumstance. Not in a way that denies the real difficulty, but in a way that anchors your hope in something greater than the problem itself. Then, speak these truths out loud. Let your ears hear what your heart needs to believe. The disciples couldn't understand Jesus' words about the resurrection because they hadn't seen it yet. But you have. You've read the Gospels, you know the end of the story. Use that knowledge today. I have one ask of you before you go. Could you please share this podcast with one person today? One person at a time will grow this podcast to help more people walk with Jesus. That's your 2 minutes with Jesus for today. Now take what you've heard, share it, and live it. Until next time, keep slowing down, keep listening, and keep walking with Jesus.